so much Counter-Strike, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's all for this. It is all for this. Even all the tournaments that they've played previously, it's all really truly for the major.
Oh
and
yeah.
Here we are. We're kicking things off here on Anubis and Heroic on the T side. Chinggis Warriors on that CT side, and fast move through the mid and down into the water into E-Box.
Oh, look at Coolast. He's just stood inside. He's let them through, trying to get the headshot. He's going to get the one. Not bad news at all. It's Youngster to go down, but the bomb is up there, and Heroic actually will be planting on the other side of the obelisk, which is pretty rare. I wonder how the afterplant's going to be playing out. Here comes LNC, drops out into the water and tries to even shoot Rue in the back, but it's not going to be happening. Bomb is ticking away here. And I'm not seeing a kit on anyone either, Dan. So they're in a really tough position, 3 versus 5, and this retake has to be quick, even if they have the man advantage.
Ooh, some pace is going to go down. Oh, beautiful headshots raining on in there for Chinggis Warriors. Root trying to get the defuse on, and they're going to get every single kill. And that's the CT pistol. That's the dangerous moments past there for Chinggis Warriors. Getting off to a good start economically, that's everything, Anders. If we're talking about an upset, this is how we start it.
I know it's typically we don't try to put so much weight on pistol rounds, but I think MR12, first game of the major, you're on Anubis, you needed to win this one. And it was set up by Coolast just accepting the fact that when they come for the smoke, he's not going to have an easy time, so he dives into it, shoots just one of them in the back. It's not just the fact that he does that, but it forces them to plant in this really awkward position. So the whole round is set up by that one Coolast kill, and it's not bad at all. Chinggis Warriors see if they can keep this rolling. There is going to be a buy because there's a bomb plant, so we all know how that works now. And they will try to boost on over. Smoke in the middle there for the CT side. And typically that means there's only one player who's actually here. This time it's none. They're playing that cam position and leaning 3 towards the A-bomb side.
And this is an opening that is given by the CTs, so they can expect that this play is coming on through, giving that mid space. In comes the play in towards the A side, or the attempt at the very least. It gets smoked off, so they have to reroute themselves over towards the B side through CT. Nice pick off from Coolast on the defense, and that's going to slow things down here.
What a rare fight that we're seeing. They're actually moving towards CT spawn all of a sudden, and now xFlow trying to see if he can run them down. He's got the Galil in hand, has a player trapped in the corner, very low on health, but great teamwork. They are so beat up, some of them at least there on the CT side, but still in the fight here. 2 versus 4, the bomb has been planted. Heroic, it's a very scrappy round for them. Sunpias goes down, and Youngster up close with the MAC-10, using all the bullets on the first one. He's down to just 6 now. Does get a quick headshot, but he runs out at the end. So close. Arikul, the one to save the round here. If he had more bullets, there might have been an opportunity for the young Swede to get that done.
That could have been like 4 players surviving for the CT side, and that would have been huge.
True.
But the bomb goes down again, and there's 4 kills at the end there from the T side. So the economy in the CTs for Chinggis is going to be pretty sketchy, to say the least. And so this presents Heroic an opportunity for the big old reset as we get into the next round.
I'm so glad you bring it up, Dan. I would be shocked if Heroic don't buy in this one. It's such a prime opportunity. You're right, down to the 1v1. You even make the extra cash with the MAC-10 there, so you're going to go for it, and they will. A lot of pressure. I don't even think it's necessarily even a big risk. Even if they lose it here, I'm not sure if it is necessarily a big problem. But on the other side of it, if Chinggis can find a way to make it through, then it's 3 to begin with. They picked up the AUG as well. I'm going to be watching for AUGs this major because BetBoom have started a trend by buying a lot of AUGs, and I'm curious how many other teams are going to start doing it.
Yeah, it could be the AUG major.
Could be.
We'll see. Heroic looking to slide on through the choke here. The first AUG is looking fantastic there on that angle. The pixel angle works beautifully. Chinggis holding it down on the A site, and now Heroic have to second guess it. They can't proceed through the choke. They're resetting into mid.
A 6 setup as well, with the second player flashed in and taking the swing against anyone else who was there. Such a cool setup. And also the flash that they throw is not going to flash the AUG player, so they can throw it while that fight is still happening against the AUG. They're already doing that underhand flash to go for the peak, so really sick and easy setup, I think, to actually make work.
Ooh. Oh.
That is a rare headshot, a burst, and it just catches xFloud as he turns the corner to near an LNC here, trying to hold it on. Let's see if they could shut down the CT side very early on, but again, they find themselves in a 2 versus 4, and not an easy clutch to win here. Tanir's going to be going down, and it will leave the last Swede on the team. The captain as well, 1 versus 3. They tap the bomb, just trying to see if they can find him through the smoke here. They're going to get the kid on already. They're so close to doing it, and he doesn't have any more bullets. Flying right through his E-Fire, and it'll be another round for the CT side. This is a great start all of a sudden, Dan.
The headshot there from E-Fire was actually kind of crazy. Like, you don't expect to get that. You're just really playing for information at that point. I think he's like, oh, maybe I have a timing when they're crossing, but I feel like you're getting a kill that maybe like 1 out of 10 times. So everything's going right for Chinggis Warriors at the moment. This is such a strong start. And I mean, Heroic, I don't imagine they're going to be worried necessarily, but I feel like for them, it's one of those games where right now, anything that we do, like, it just does not working. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. It's not working.
Well, and also the fact that, you know, by going for a lot of the pressure early on, even though I think it's totally warranted, it just means now you have given them a couple of rounds early on to play with. 3-0 lead for them. Your own economy, you're getting the bomb plants at the very least, but it's 3 people surviving here. They're going to be backing up AKs on top of it. It's almost as good of a start as you could have hoped for here for the Chinggis Warriors. 3-0 in their favor. There is a bit of an investment into this round. It's not completely, you know, all in. They do want some players to pick up the AWP at some point, so they're going to have to save a little bit there. But they've thrown the MAC-10 into the middle. It's 3 people waiting. That's a lot.
Yeah, I love that. Use the Molotovs, get that fast information. Can he find something? Yeah, LNC is able to take down 1 before getting traded out. 4 versus 4 as the B site is completely lost here. So really good look right now, especially as we get that Tech9 headshot from Youngstar. Chinggis 3v3, 3v2 retake now as, oh wow, Tinid burns down Youngstar. What on earth happened there?
It was so late as well, I don't know. He must have thought the Molotov was going to fade. Tanir, though, alive, nearly gets a flick. It will be Sunpius to save the round. That is very well done. He had no time at all to adjust. He either swings to get that headshot or the round is going to be over immediately. That would have been another close 1v1 that Heroic would have lost, but Sunpius is there to keep it alive in spite of the, you know, friendly barbecue that was happening. We're in Texas after all.
Yeah,
I appreciate a good barbecue.
What on earth was that? I wonder if that gets caught here in this replay. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, he's stood in the middle of 2 grenades.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well,
still,
it's Austin. You got to get the barbecue on.
Haven't yet. Dan, I feel let down. I need that to happen. That is aggressive. I am shocked that they were still there to be shot. I feel like you want to dive out of that position on the T side as fast as you can. Ari Kuhl here, trying to bait them in. There is a second MP9, actually right into an HE. It's not bad.
And they are going to send Heroic back here. So, Heroic, they have that doors control in mid. And they can do a lot from this position. Of course, they can cut enough noise for long enough to suggest they could be going towards B right now, but walking back into the A split potentially. But Chinggis, they haven't moved a muscle.
Yeah, they're trying to retake the front of A, and Youngster knows it. And even then, they still don't find the kill. That's very interesting. It's a great read for Youngster. He knows what that smoke means. The CTs throw that smoke so that they can retake the front of A. But somehow he doesn't get the fight home. E-Fire is going to end up going down. A bit of a setup there for Sunpius too. 3 versus 4. And with the pistol, Coolest, how has he found them? Shutting them down with the AK, looking for the bullet on xFloud, who's low on health and low on time. No teammates left. He shouldn't be able to clutch this. They should be able to just wait him out. They are going to fight him, and it's Coolest to crush Heroic in this one. That is a bit of a miracle.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so cool. This is a great CT side so far. I mean, firstly, on E-Box, you had controls posted up with the AWP the entire time with that line through water. So that was a confirmation that, oh, when they cut noise, well, they're not going to be, because they would have to cross that line. And so that allows them to try to play for that retake. Chinggis knew precisely what was going on the entire time, and they're handling it so well on the fights as well. That's where I thought Heroic would come alive, but Chinggis looking good.
This is a really grim position for Heroic to be in. If this was any other map and it's a 4-1 lead, I probably just don't care at all about this. But the fact that it's the CT side of Anubis,
Yeah,
I think this
reset the economy too.
I know I think this is such a dramatic start, and again, I think both of us actually, Chinggis are in a position to ruin, or so at least upset our pick'ems quite a bit. So half the community is going to be watching right now, thinking, "Please don't do this," because for some reason the pick'ems matter a lot to people.
Yeah, of course. It's like $10, Anders.
You just feel like, it's a status thing. We're all dreaming of that diamond coin, even though it's completely stupid, but we all want it.
Well, this is a slightly different setup from Chinggis as far as like the passive CT stuff goes. They give mid again, but instead of a 2-3, they're in a 3-2. Although they're coming out with the timing. The pop flash timing's unbelievable. Rue is able to spray them down. Tanir is able to get a consolation headshot, but the timing could not have been better. That's crazy.
You always dream when you flash somebody in or you get flashed in. That you're like, oh, please let them all be flashed just up against the wall. Then like none of them are even moving. They're just in one straight line. Never really works out that way, I feel like. But this time it absolutely did. Not enough damage either. This is the other problems. Got a couple of AKs picked up. Money is going to slowly start to build here on the Chinggis side if they can get 4 people out of this one. Bomb is in the middle, so they don't have to risk really anything. They know eventually...
Yeah.
LNC is going to have to try and show up and do a little bit more damage here. 7 seconds left. See if he can do anything in the fading hours of this round. Nice headshot, spins for it. 1 kill, better than nothing.
And one thing that's interesting about that pop flash is that it's kind of risky because the reason why they are flashing that is because they actually do suspect that their opponents are there, but it's the 2 players who are alone on the A site that are doing this.
Right.
Usually it's the team that on the B side where you've got 3 players. That's where maybe you take the aggression because you have the extra players. So,
sure.
So I felt like that was an interesting detail, but I think it just shows so far that Chinggis Warriors are playing fearlessly from the underdog position, and so far so good. They are crushing it.
It's on the CT side as well. 5-1. A map pick that we did not expect. I certainly did not expect it. I think you mentioned it as a possibility, which is I think Chinggis they've done some real homework to slip this one through. Heroic at the moment, they haven't really found their start at all. I would expect just on player performance alone for Heroic to have a couple of rounds, should have already happened, where they just show up and shoot somebody in the face with an AK. Like some round should just go that way, where it's like, oh, here we go, it's Tanir, it's X-Cloud, and the round is almost over just on a couple of fights, and that really has not been the case. So a lot of credit right now to the CT side. It's super impressive what they managed to do already. We'll see if Heroic can turn it around with something more creative.
I think this E-box position is something that has been really nice for Chinggis Warriors. It's never really been taken away in the defaults that we've seen, and it's giving controllers just this free line consistently with the AWP. That's so much information to sort of stabilize your rotations with on the CT side. Oh, the flick shot, that actually... Oh, I feel like that should have connected, Anders.
I mean, I think it did damage, but it must have been clipping the wall.
Yeah.
It looked... Even with the blood on the wall in the back, it looked like LNC should have died right then and there. I do like this move for the middle. It's very aggressive, trying to sneak in through the smoke. Oh, but they get shot in the back. Rue ends up going down. Arikul kind of aware. It could be someone running through. It's X-Cloud, even though he's very speedy coming through that smoke, still able to find the shot. And finally, something that looks like a more regular kind of round. No reason to try and retake. It's just not a good idea. You've got the AWP, you've got the AK on E-Fire. It's a better choice to walk away from this one, but... Yeah, good timing there for Heroic, and the mid pressure, even though it didn't start the fight, but you could see it distracted that A defense quite a bit.
And I felt like this was the round that you sort of had just called for too. Oh, you expect X amount of rounds to just be won by just like shooting some AKs.
Yeah,
like kind of keeping it simple in that respect. And that's kind of what we got in this round from Heroic. And I mean, just because they've been so successful in the damage that they've done, of course, Chinggis are forced to go for this save. So that's an indication that despite Heroic having a pretty rough time on this half, they have been getting a lot of kills. So,
right.
For them, they probably feel like each time they're just so close. And so that, this is the point now where they kind of have to get momentum, I feel like, because if they get reset again, I don't know, Anders, what kind of match we're discussing at that point.
I think if that happens, it probably is a disaster that Heroic will have a very, very hard time recovering from. So I think avoiding that reset at all cost here is got to be the thing. Okay. I really appreciate coaches that speak with their,
gesticulation.
And yeah, it's I could feel it. Mid on this map, as a tactical position, I would say when Anubis just came out, almost no teams had figured out how to properly utilize it. But say in 2025 type Counter-Strike, it is so heavily utilized. If you get T's in there, you know, they can see, we already seen Heroic try to do it, and it's a really good idea. Just one T that can slip into the middle of the map, it's hell to try and deal with. So appreciate that. Looks like more of an early lean towards the B side here, trying to see if they could. I mean, the B bomb side is so hard to hold. Even with 3 people, it's hard.
Yeah, big aggression there through the B main smoke. That's interesting there. So I like this, Chinggis, you know, switching things up. They also use controllers to mid. And Heroic, they might be looking to capitalize on this fairly quickly, starting to rotate over to this B side. And already the smokes are being thrown in. Can the defense here from eFire and Rue look good enough to prevent the entry? Util is helpful, but I don't know that they're going to be able to hold on here. In comes the push. Nice spray. That's crazy. What a transfer from eFire. They are holding on for now.
Yeah, and they bought time for another rotation. All the rest of the CT side are already here, fighting in front. LNC does go down. There's a minute on the clock here. 2 versus 2. eFire, you said, already doing such a great amount of work to even stop the initial push, but the bomb is going to be planted. I think that gives the advantage now to the Heroic side. Sunfires and Youngster trying to see if they could escape through that main position. If they can, they could probably stop this defuse almost forever, but the timing is sick though. They catch Youngster out in the open. Control's able to take him down. And Sunfire's here. He's got to be careful. That's going to be an AWP at some point holding the corner, although the only downside is it's the AWP with the kit low on health, so probably one bullet here from Sunfires could maybe seal the deal. He's going to find it easily. Goes for the swing controls. All right, he turns around. He's got enough time for it. Even without the kit, he doesn't even try to pick it up here. Another really close round, but with Chinggis Warrior picking it up, I mean, that is going to put them real far ahead.
And these are the rounds, Anders, that we actually have said or set up the narrative to say that's where Heroic get the value. That's where Heroic are able to finish the round in these clutches, in these post plants. But Chinggis have shown that at this event, I mean, they're not dropping the ball at all on the individual level so far. This is quite wild to see. Heroic now I think truly in trouble now. We've been sort of setting that up for a while, but they are truly in trouble at this point. It of course does come down to Chinggis Warriors being able to play a great T side, and we're not there just yet. But 6-2 as we go into the next round.
I think they will, though. I think I'm looking forward to that T side. I'll be very interested to see how this one plays out. A bit of aggression. Grenade, not too impressive to Youngster. He's not going to falling too far back from it. See if the CTs have any more tricks up their sleeve. They kind of do with the AWP, but Kulast ends up dropping, and that's to the enemy AWP, Sunpius. Often the main piece of this team that's going to bring them back into the game. He's 7-7 right now. Only eFire at the bomb site, and if you're Chinggis Warriors here, you might consider kind of grouping everyone into one position as opposed to playing this spread out. It would make sense. Obviously, it's a big risk, but I think that, yeah, that is what they're doing. So I think this is a really good call, to be honest.
Yes, I was curious what eFire might do in that spot, because he had that spot where he could move beyond the smoke into a nice angle to check E-box, which he did. However, he did make a step as well, so they then knew where he was. And so I was unsure, like, is he going to, like, double down there, or is he going to fall away? And I like that we got the disciplined move. Again, I think if you're Chinggis Warriors here, it's interesting. You're at a level of competition that's extremely high. The major is huge. It's a huge deal, especially for a team like Chinggis Warriors that are not finding themselves at majors typically. No. So for all of the players as well, it means so much. And so far to see so much discipline from them is a really great sign.
By the way, so we're watching the hunt here towards the end. I do want to say the initial aggression that they had at this front of A position that Arikul is looking at the moment, the reason why they did that wasn't even to try and do a lot of damage necessarily to anyone holding there. I think they were trying to bait a T player into the AWP that was waiting behind. So they were sort of hoping that, oh, we throw some grenades, maybe someone's going to counter peek us, and then we've got the AWP in that deep position. Also, the fact that there's no smoke thrown from the CT side is probably a big indication to Heroic that something is up. Like, it just feels weird that there's no early smoke. You'll see the same thing in the middle. Very often on this map, the AWP will either be playing that A plateau or it'll be playing this E box position. Whenever it's playing the middle, you probably won't see the CTs throw any smokes in the middle at all, and that's a big indication. If you're on the T side and you don't see a mid smoke, you have to be thinking something is up. It's a weird look.
okay, hang on. We've got a very fast... do we have any attention here? They surely hit the steps. Okay, well, the nades get tossed and they're going to be pushing him in as well. And so it's an easy takedown for Heroic as they advance through middle towards that A site. And Chinggis Warriors are going to quickly find themselves completely out of position for this.
Yeah, they were trying to take a bit of a risk, and I kind of like it. Pushing a little bit into middle, pushing outside of the B-bomb site, but it looked like they didn't follow through. I would have loved to have seen them just keep up that aggression.
Yeah.
Because now the round is almost certainly lost. I really think even going too much for this one is kind of risky. Even now, in the 4v4, I would expect for Heroic to be able to hold this one down, but they will give it a shot. At least early on, taking a couple of steps towards it. Flash set up for it here. Tenier, they're all lined up, and they're not even flashed enough. I think if he'd peeked that right away, they might have been able to get the spray down. Sunpius, nice flick, picks up a second one, and now they're all on top of each other and shut down by Youngstar and Sunpius both.
That was scarily doable. That was scarily doable. After you see Tenier not able to get the kill, there you're like, hang on a second. But great stuff there from Sunpius, you know, for sure with the AWP, that's really decisive there on site. You can see all the shots, like these two shots, must-hit shots.
Yeah. Yeah, good read for LNC to get a glimpse of the economy. He knows that, you know, these last couple of rounds not going to be a lot to work with, really on the CT side. Very nearly getting the kill for the smoke in the middle. This could be a 6-6 type scoreline, which for Heroic, I think just on a momentum, you know, basis, is nice to be able to finish the half like this. Still think they are in a lot more trouble than it seems. But, you know, there is a whole second half to be played, so I guess we'll see.
We're back to that 3-2 defensive setup from Chinggis where they give up mid. And they've got a good hold of E-Box, but E-Box has not been a priority at all for Heroic's T side, interestingly enough. And mid will be taken again, and he's pretty much voided here by Chinggis Warriors.
Yeah, what a position to play right now. Controls, see what he can do here. Crouched into it, it's very awkward. It's, you know, you're hoping and praying that they're going to be peeking the other direction. He was already tacked up from earlier, so either way, it was probably going to be a pretty quick fight for him. And now, you said, nobody really at the A-bomb site. Ari Fuel kind of here, but also very similar treatment. So, they don't have a lot, but they might as well try and save it because they have no money left in the bank. So, that 6-6 scoreline is looking more and more doable.
Yeah. We'll see what the buy looks like finally when Chinggis do get into the next half. In fact, we'll have to see, or rather, sorry, in the next round, but we'll have to see if they can keep any of these guns here because, as you would imagine, the hunt is on. The money's really nice if
yes.
They could just have everybody die for this, and they're going to make their way around. Youngstar's going to find two with the spray down. The M4 is still there in the corner, but gets checked for. Beautiful there from Youngstar.
I like it, you know? It was such a flat start for Heroic. The fact that they've, you know, found a way to turn it around and, you know, they can see the life back in the team. And that, to be honest, probably will be the sort of post-half analysis anyway for Heroic. That's what they're going to be saying to themselves. Listen, it was a bad start. Who cares? Now that we are fired up, look at how much better we are. So, let's go.
Totally.
5 MP9s. It's a lot of sewing machines, Dan.
Yeah. And they're all towards the A site right now. A little long push happening, getting set up there, and you can tell with Heroic they're playing just a little further back than normal on this D4. They're certainly a little worried about shenanigans.
They might try and flash it. So you can see controls in the back. He's got the flash primed. I wonder if Rue in here is going to be part of this push. So he's going to be putting up a little bit of attention here. But yeah, that push outside of the A bomb site with the flash deep from the site could be really powerful. Here we go. Just good enough for one kill. They could have maybe kept going, but they don't. Sunpius, the bullet's escaping him. And LNC gets shot in the back, and now he's going to pick up the AK instead. The MP9s just keep on running at them. They line up for him, and a great double headshot. I don't know how that's done. X-Cloud now in a terrible position, jumping down. And matches E-Fire in the middle of the river. How does he win that fight? He should have been dead every single day. 1 versus 1 in the most bizarre round that we have seen yet.
And what's the move? The bomb's collected, but if he goes back, look at this rotate from controls all the way through T-spawn.
That's got to be a failed grenade.
It's kind of crazy. Is the timing here for Controls as he walks down the steps on the back? He might just find it. He can't take a shot. X-Files slipping away, but there's surely no way that X-Files is going to turn into Controls here. Surely this is a done deal for Chinggis Warriors, the 7-5. Surely there's the MP9, finishes it off. Unbelievable end to the first half. What on earth was that?
Solo gaming, I was hitting the #1 on leaderboards, so that was how I got spotted, right? And I didn't have like expectations. I just joined, and the guys were a bit more experienced, so they basically guided me, you know, like how to be a good teammate, how to play, and I just listened and took the next step, I guess. After that, I got scouted again because they saw potential in me, and I went to Metisport, and I got full-time offer then. We played one season, and then again the Face It leaderboard, right? I was on top of the Face It leaderboard and got spotted again in Sangal. There we just grinded from top 200 to top 30, and rest is history. I have 6K games, I think.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm playing with Roland, and he's been in the scene for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And he said I even have more games than him, so we were on flare break, and we just got a call from Heroic, from the coach, saying they were interested, right? Because they sold to Falcons, obviously. But it was kind of quiet from the Sangal side, so it was more like a surprise. It wasn't planned at all. It just happened on 1-2 days, and it was done. Obviously, like since Jota went to Eternal Fire, and we had the core, we had some decent ranking, and of course Heroic, good management, good org, good stuff behind it. So it was like an obvious choice. Sampayas, who's been experienced, is joking inside the team and like outside of the game, and Tenir is the same. Like we're just a bunch of guys having fun, joking around. So it's the chemistry is great. Like we're having fun every time.
Obviously, you've made it to the major, just a milestone achievement for you individually.
Yeah, of course. Like I had it as an achievement with a sticker, right? Like now I'm in the game. I'm excited. I'm not too nervous. I'm just taking game by game.
Is there anybody you're particularly hoping that you get to play against here in Austin?
Face. We demolished them, and they're calling us bots. Like I don't know how they can call us bots when we're demolishing them. So I need to do it again. Now when the season ending, like it's the last dance as well for us, like our roster. We just wanted to make it to playoff, and yeah, we'll see from there.
Well, here we go. Second half is coming up. We have got the opening game here on the B stream for the Austin Major, and somehow the Chinggis Warriors have managed to pick up a huge number of rounds on the opening map of Anubis. I'm really surprised by this. I'm surprised they were playing Anubis. I'm surprised they did so well on their CT side. Heroic, obviously, they were very slow to start. I think they're going to come in a lot hotter in the second half, but the fact is, if they lose the pistol round, Dan, this could be a nightmare.
Yes, it could certainly be a nightmare. Everyone's pick'em's ruined instantly. It's just the first hour of the major. Let's go. Yes, it's going to be interesting to see what the T side does look like, though. Of course, you know, even though we know it's a very T-sided map, Heroic have a strong CT side. But here we go into the pistol. Chinggis Warriors 4 towards B, and 1 on the lurk towards that water side.
I mean, they've stacked the A-bomb side here, Heroic, and they're sticking with it. They're not really moving around too much. Youngster is going to get all the information, but what does it matter if he calls it in? They are so far away. They actually pushed down to see if they could catch any CTs in here. They wanted to sandwich another player, but there is nobody there to be sandwiched. The bomb is going to be planted now, and they do have the kit and a couple of flashbangs onto Sunpius, so at least there is a chance for a retake, but it will not be easy, although with shots like these, I guess anything is possible. Tenir deletes controls at the start of the retake, and now crouching in. Linus able to pick up the kill, and more coming through. Double kill for Linus at the moment. Just leaves one person. What a quick retake. They made it look so easy. Could he even stop the defuse? I don't think so. He's just going to accept the fact that this is probably already done. They are body blocking him, and the defuse is already through. That is so much easier for Heroic than I was ever expecting.
Yeah, when you give up the B-side that fast, that is a super scary prospect, but nice shots connected. However, the bomb went down, and I feel like Chinggis Warriors will be buying every single day of the week in this position. So it's not out of the woods just yet if you're Heroic going into this next round. You need to see more nice shots like we did just there. But yeah, that's step one. Step one complete.
Yeah, the Heroic redemption arc I think had to start with this pistol round. That's really huge. You're absolutely right, though. The bomb plant and the follow-up by a couple of deagles in there. That's kind of interesting. Don't necessarily hate it. Nade lands smack on top of E-Fire.
It's like, wait, what? I was just minding my own business.
Just hanging out. Just trying to be peaceful out there, you know? Not this time. They are very clearly gravitating towards the A side, which... probably fine. They have a lot of utility, so I'm guessing they're just going to do one of those heavy executes where you Molotov out cam, you smoke the high ground position. That's all probably going to work. They just have to get past X-Cloud. That's probably the big thing. Oh, the rotation might be closer than I thought.
Here comes the push in. Oh, nice spray dunk from LNC. Good defense so far. That's going to make it very hard to get this post plant. Oh, in fact, can't even get a plant at this rate. Tech9 comes out, and it's a shutdown. Complete shutdown easy, in fact, from Heroic. That looks very clean.
Yeah, LNC has stepped it up. He did it in the pistol here in the second half, and then in this round too. Also worth talking about the timing that Chinggis was trying to manipulate in this round, because there are a lot of different ways to do this execute. You could do it, you can sort of throw the grenades and then push in once everything is already up. Very, very intentionally, they wanted to play that almost like a contact execute. So they basically are walking onto the site with no flashbangs, with the smokes kind of already landing, and the result could be sick, but this time the result just is that LNC has this great opportunity to get a couple of kills. But it wasn't, I don't think it was a mistake from Chinggis. I think it's a very, very intentional way to try and manipulate what a timing normally looks like. Oh my god. Let's go. Do it one more time.
Hello.
And Rue will takes down Youngster. Tries to see if he could follow it up, but Tania will stand his ground, and that's probably for the best as well. Don't lose this round, Heroic. don't do that.
The only thing going in their favor in this instance, other than being the CTs having all the guns and everything else, is that those downed rifles are not too easily collectible. Oh, I think that was just missed by X-Cloud. We'll see if it's a good timing or not. On the return, hello again, E-Fire with the Deagle headshot. LNZ now opening himself up to another potential Deagle headshot. These guns are very scary at this point in time. 2 versus 2, 50 seconds on the clock. The bomb is outside B right now. And these Deagles, every single shot makes me nervous.
Apparently it doesn't make Heroic that nervous because they keep fighting into it, which a part of me admires it. I know it blew up in their face with X-Cloud getting shut down, but there's a part of me that wants Heroic to play that way because I think that is in their DNA. That's how this team likes to play. That's not at all silent. I love it. He took such care as well. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. It will, again, be down to the Deagle headshots. He's trying to land this one, and Tania will be able to hold on to the round for his team. That got so much closer than it needed to get, but good job on Chinggis to try and keep the economy low, keep Heroic a bit scared, perhaps.
And what's interesting there to me is that in that 2 versus 2, I think after the first player goes down, when you're crossing to the site, I think there's an opportunity to just jump across the angle and get the bomb down. But you can see they're looking for the kills there. They're looking for Chinggis, they're like looking for the fights. And
somehow the Deagle headshot from Rue was just even more preposterous.
yeah.
Even on the replay, it looked ridiculous.
Very important kills though. That actually prevents Heroic's economy from growing, so sets up Chinggis Warriors in this round. They go fast into this mid position. 3 players there. And then the bomb is more towards the A-side, long side of the map. Nice opener from Rune. That's going to just crack open this map. A huge amount of threat now onto Heroic. How do they respond? Trying to box this one in. And that's just insane. Tania shuts it down.
Huge hold. If they trade him, the round is very, very likely to be very near over at least. It would have been 1 player left at the bomb site. Crushed from the other side here. Tania very nearly on the triple. He did get some good damage on the controls. He's been playing very well. 14 kills. Back into the 3v3. Trying to take some shots through. Deep Molotov, and Youngstar has to evacuate that position, though. Look at how not scared he is. Just pushing in front, not even checking dark, actually, and just goes into a bit of a forward spot. Sunpies, if he'd held that angle 1 second longer, he probably has a free kill.
Oh, it's so unclear for Heroic what Chinggis Warriors are doing right now. And Chinggis Warriors also themselves have kept it flexible. But they are forced, I think, back to this B side where that bomb has been all this time. And the E-box position currently is occupied by Youngstar. He is the key player in the defense here. If he can get somebody, then this round is very easy now, I think, for Heroic. But can they find Youngstar in time? There goes the entry, and there's going to be found there from Arakul. Able to take down Youngstar, but in the 1 versus 2 now. Bomb has to go down, 15 seconds left, and Kulas will get a post-plant.
It's good for the money, if nothing else. Keeps the pressure on to the Heroic side. Good headshot. Tries to keep it spraying. It's such a smart play. He was hoping that there would have been a mistake there, that Sunpias would have ran straight into the crosshair and got himself killed as well. And I think he's back trying to find some more weapons before he goes back for the defuse. Yeah, that AWP. But he's got the kit and everything, so it's all well calculated. It would be interesting if we could see the replay from xFloud's kill in the middle, because I think he takes that through the double doors. I don't know if he must have seen him, but that was how they sort of started the 3v3. That's such a close round, just to echo your point earlier on, right? When you win these 1v1s on the CT side with almost nobody alive, it's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just like you said,
he's hoping.
He was expecting that trade fragger, and if the timing was as you would expect, he actually gets it. So it's that slight delay. That's crazy. It's crazy. This game is really close.
I think it shows you, that's a micro moment that shows you something about what experience means on LAN at a major for Sunpias, not just to, run in with his teammate. Because that is probably, if you look in the Counter-Strike handbook, that's probably what it would say. Like, yeah, you got to, counter 3 and go at the same time with a little bit of spacing so that you don't start to stand on top of each other. Like, that's normally how you do it.
Yeah.
Sunpias just ahead of the game on this one. And that's what it should be. That's what we all said, and the desk were talking about it too. The experience and the firepower and everything else is why Heroic were, more than 7-1 favor to win this at the start of it. So yeah, you would expect something like this. Well, they do have the round lead, 9-7 here.
Yeah, so that money is broken. Sunpias for the mid peak, and we also have Kulas now on the AWP as well on that mid line, or rather through water. Into E-box.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, there's nothing left in the bank for anybody, but it's actually a fairly competitive round. Controls and then Arakul looked like he had the opportunity at the time to win that fight.
Yeah.
But xFloud a little bit too accurate on this one. Heroic on a mission to recover what has been a very shaky start. That's. If I'm Rue on the other, that's such a rare angle to peek. He's standing up on top of a box inside a middle to sort of look into the window drop, and somehow it's where Sunpias wanted to check.
Huge trade.
Yeah.
2v4 now, and you really want to get at least a couple kills here, but it feels horribly difficult for Chinggis Warriors to do so. And Sunpias is looking very ready for this one. Nice flick shot, a headshot no less. And yeah, Sunpias is a problem. Kulas walks around now with the AWP looking for some extra something, some value somewhere. And, I mean, might be able to find a 1v1 potentially. Or are we saving in mid? I feel like, with the AWP, I think that's probably the play.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but it's not a crazy choice. What's dangerous, though, is what if Heroic, not that they don't have a lot of money to hunt for him, but still, you probably know he has the AWP. Do you want to take a risk here? If they had an MP9, maybe that's what they would send out. But, with the rifles here, it doesn't look like Heroic going to be too active. Still, 10-7. 3-round lead now coming in for the Heroic side. I already think this is a really impressive recovery. I'm not done worrying about Heroic just yet. I still think this is kind of scary, but
yeah,
they're living up to the expectations that we all had of them coming into this.
Definitely, and I mean, that round, there was big chances. That fight that didn't go well on the A sites for Chinggis Warriors. Like, if you had the AWP there instead, you get that opening pick probably every time. And I think with the AK, you get that most of the time. You got the first few bullets.
Oh yeah,
first for the T. So that's like an ideal series of opportunities there. So we'll see what Chinggis Warriors can do if those openings keep coming their way. Maybe Kulas can be the one to find them. We get that initial E-box presence again from Heroic, much like we saw from Chinggis Warriors. And quick through mid as well.
Yeah, they had that set up from out of spawn. Great catch in the observing. We saw the flash going over. They were going to run in those rifles to try and catch somebody playing really close. I love the idea. Didn't really get them the kill that they were looking for. Some players playing down towards that E-box position, which means that's something that they just have to respect a little bit. I also like this push coming out of the front of A right now. It's something that Heroic will do on this map, and very often they will keep going beyond this point and put some pressure on the T side. I think it's really nice to see. It's something that some teams are not very good at executing, but Heroic definitely have a history of doing this.
And for Heroic, either the other team's all outside of B or they're in mid. Those are the only two options left at this point with everything that they've cleared.
He sees the smoke. Like, xCloud saw the smoke in the air, but he doesn't necessarily know what it means. Now, you're absolutely right. They are in middle, and they are going to try and split this A bomb side. The question is, who's going to get that first kill at the moment? Heroic, they're not that far away from winning the map here, and they have a bit of a read on it, you can tell. Tenier crouched down below that wall, and they've got LNC also waiting outside of the bomb side. xCloud trying to see if he can get it done. That might be the thing that sends the landslide towards the A site. They need to go right now. We've got 22 seconds left. A bit of a setup with the incendiary. Another headshot for Tenier. He takes down 3, and that is plenty to defend the bathroom there. It's going to be just down to Aricule, and he can't do any more damage. Hard slaps are coming through. That setup and the timing with the incendiary was beautiful.
That was a great round from Chinggis Warriors. You know, the fact that they sat on that position in mid for a very long time to try to force an error, and they do actually get a pick off of it. That's an amazing way to start off the round. You know, 5v4, and the CTs don't know precisely what you're doing. So Tenier with that overperformance there, 3 kills. That's insanely strong, and without that, they lose that round.
That's very, very likely. Just the timing between the push there and once they run out of that cam position into A, so hard to hold back, but good read. And also, in spite of what a slow round that was, Heroic really didn't panic that much. They got that front position, but they didn't keep on pushing. They really held their nerve, which honestly is harder than it looks on the CT side. Doing nothing for a long time could definitely be very tricky. 11-7 as we go into round number 19 here. Heroic are just a couple of rounds away from recovering a very, very bad start on this map.
And they have a really good buffer to buy up 1 round if they were to lose every player, Heroic. So that's also pretty nice at this point in the match. So we'll see if there's a change at all here from Chinggis Warriors. 2-1-2 split on the map on the default. On this T side from them. Heroic with a pretty similar opening around E-box.
Looks like we will end at the B bomb site. The question is, how much do they want to throw into the middle here? You could see Rue is applying a bit of pressure. They are 2 people coming in from Dark as well, and Sunpius, he could easily be the one to stop them. He does miss the first shot, and it's a very dangerous position, but Youngstar's trying to make up for it. He even gets the dink onto E-Fire. That'd have been an AK, it would have been a triple there for Youngstar, but 2 versus 2, 50 seconds, the bomb is at least going to be planted.
Rue taking down Tenier, the Trouble Man, but we do have a fast approach from E-box. LNZ making the way forward. Might not get there in time, though, to find a duel, and it's going to be another one from Rue in spawn. That's a beautiful pickup onto xCloud. LNZ now knows there's 1 player around the site somewhere, but where?
He could go for the deep. They have to run. They have to run right now. He's straight on the defuse. They're not realizing they're not deep enough. He's just defusing it right in front of them. LNC, he saw the opportunity and he took it.
Unbelievable. He had the Molotov in the perfect position as well. There wasn't even anyone there, obviously, but that would have been the one spot where you'd have to rush. Oh, man, that is just devastating there. Chinggis Warriors doing everything right, just all the way up until the end.
It's because he knew Rue got this kill, so he knows where one of them is, and he knows that's such a deep angle for Rue to have to run through. The only other position that he's worried about is the one that he's already Molotov'd out.
Whew, crazy. Okay, Heroic, they've got to be feeling good after that. 12-7, 1 more to avoid a very awkward beginning to the Austin Major. LNZ takes down Rue in mid. That is the way to start it off.
Super impressive. They've blown up E-Fire as well. Need to get that kill. I'm not shocked. I expect Sunfires to play this well, but LNC has absolutely saved his team. Again, the captain of it, but he's had so many pivotal rounds. It's a very impressive performance. I mean, the rest of the team has been playing well too, but yeah, a very slow start for Heroic. A fantastic recovery. Aricule trying to do something to get them back into this one. A couple of fantastic shots though. Kulast as well. He's got the health for it here, and Heroic might have to see the bomb site running up and making a lot of noise. xCloud still wins the fight. How?
That's crazy, but 2 of the 3 players here for Heroic are extremely low, sub 15 points of health. So, Aricule, are we going to get the ace clutch? That's the only way for them to stay in this best of 1. Obviously, it's a Swiss stage. It's the first match of the Austin Major for them. And there's the miss shot. xCloud gets it done for Heroic. They avoid catastrophe, Anders, here today.
I mean, this is a great test of their strength, I would say. The fact that they fell so far behind, I don't think we were exaggerating. It is a bit of a disaster when you end up losing that many rounds early on the T side. And Chinggis Warriors sneaking in a map that we weren't expecting either. I think this is all very, very impressive. But Heroic, a lot of people think they're going to go through 3-0. Getting tested like this early on might actually be a huge advantage. It's going to get everyone sharpened up and woken up. So I'm impressed. And yeah, I think it's ultimately still a good look for them.
This was a great match. I think it's 2 teams that we expect to be on the opposite sides of like the ranking for the stage 1, but fantastic game, a lot to be